Can I ask you a question? Yeah, you. What are you running from? Yeah, you. What are you running from? What is that thing that you have been hiding from, running from, trying to bury, and it just keeps finding you? What is it? Is it a calling? Is it a traumatic experience that you're not ready to deal with right now? Is it knowing that there's something greater for you in life, but you're just not ready or you're scared? Well, I'm here to tell you it's time to stop running. So, one thing I'll say about me is naturally so, I am a runner. When things get hard, I like to run. That could be to another state, to another city, to another job, whatever it was, I was always a runner. Then something kind of strange happened. I started realizing even if I was running, I was still running into the same issues. It wasn't until I took my time, confronted those issues, even the hard ones, and then started to build a life around that. I'm asking you that because you've been running from something a long, long time. And it's time to stop. It's time to stop, smell the roses, confront the situation, and move on with life. Because one of the things I do know is that until you confront this thing, whatever it is, you're going to keep going in circles. You're going to keep going over and over and over into the same circles, the same frustration, the same thing over and over. It's almost like that hamster on the wheel that's just going around and around and around and around. One of the biggest things that I personally ran from was actually my spiritual calling. In 2014, I started to deconstruct from Christianity. At the time, I did not know that it was called deconstruction. I did not know that that's what I was doing. But what I did know is everything that I'd been taught, I could not continue to believe it. I no longer believed it. And the best way I can describe what happened was watching the show Paternity Court. And this lady, she was like in her 30s, and her father had passed. Her mom was deceased, and her father had passed. And after her father passed, this man came up to her, and he told her, "I'm your real father." And I never wanted to say anything. Your mother made me promise not to say anything because it would be too hurtful to your dad. We were having an affair and so on and so forth. And so they had come to paternity court in order to see if this man was her real father. And sure enough, the test came back that he was her father. And all she could say was everything that she had known up until that point collapsed, and nothing was true anymore. And that was kind of what I felt once I started to deconstruct from Christianity. It was like everything that I had grown up believing, that I had been taught in church, everything, it just came to a head. And the only thing that I could get some type of understanding from was watching Paternity Court, especially when it was the people that were grown, because they had already built a life. And to grow up all your life thinking this one person was your father, only to learn that he wasn't, it was very traumatic for her, and I could understand what she was going through because that's how I had felt. I had felt like everything I had been taught in church and in Christianity, growing up around, Christian family members and stuff, it was all a lie. And so what it forced me to have to do was literally start over from scratch and start to build a life on what do you really want your life to look like? What do you really believe in? What are your true morals? What are your true ethics? Not because this is what the Bible is telling you to do, not because this is what the church is telling you to do, but because this is what's true to your heart. And in that, one of the things that I did give up was being a minister and preaching, because at that point I was no longer in church, and I knew I wasn't going back or anything like that. And so I just kind of pushed, ministry and things like that. I pushed it to the back burner, because who would I be preaching to? Who would I be ministering to if I was no longer in church? So years passed, probably over 10 years, probably about 12 years passed. And last year in 2025, so maybe 11 years, in 2025, in the spring of 2025, I started to get this overwhelming desire and pull to go to church. And I was so shocked. I'm like, why would I be getting this kind of pull, and why would I feel like this? I'm not into church. Like, I don't believe in the church. I'm definitely not into these mega churches. I feel they're scammers, they're users, they're pretenders. Like, all this stuff is coming out about the church. I'm here to stand on business. Like, why would I be, feeling this pull? So I went to church, and this was like a mixed church, a mixed race church, and it was a mega church. But it was really nice, and I really enjoyed myself, and it almost felt like I was at home, like I had come back home. And I was so confused, because I'm like, I'm not understanding, Spirit, why you would be calling me to come back to church, when fundamentally my thoughts and like the core of who I am, it has shifted. I don't believe any of this. I don't believe Jesus died on the cross for my sins. I don't believe that there's only one God. I don't believe, it was just so much that the core of what Christianity represents, I no longer believe. But I kept going. I would go like every other Sunday. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for a multitude of reasons. I felt back connected to community in some type of way. The music was rather good, The music was good, and the sermons that he was preaching, although they were kind of basic, they were, they were good for me at the time. And so I kept just questioning, like, what is this? What am I doing here? What am I supposed to be doing? But, Spirit, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to just keep going. So I kept going. So this one particular day, I walk into the church, and I kind of got there a little late. So the church has already started, like the praise and worship has already started. And I love praise and worship, just in general. So the praise and worship has started. The people are on the stage. The audience is rocking and rolling. Like, it's just in full gear. Like, it's just in full swing when I walk in the building. And there's this huge center aisle, and I'm just trying to find a seat. But I'm walking down this huge center aisle, and I look up. And when I look up, all I can see is a vision of me on that stage preaching. And I'm like, what the hell? Excuse me, I don't mean to be praying, cursing in the church house, but what the hell is going on? And when I saw that vision, it was like this overwhelming sense of calm, and like, this is it. Like, this is what's been missing. And so I just heard this voice say, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you're going to do. That vision and that prophecy, it never left. It never left you. You just ran from it because you assumed that since you were no longer in church, that prophecy was over. And it wasn't. And now you get to see it. And so I kept saying, well, I accept the prophecy. I really do, but I don't understand, what am I supposed to be preaching and to who, and what am I supposed to be saying when I fundamentally do not believe, in this. And then eventually, over the next year, I really started to get into the divine feminine. I started to get into matriarchy and feel led, into that, led to empower women, empower all women to reach our full potential, because so many of us have been really held back and held down because of patriarchy, because of the Bible, because of Christian theology and propaganda. And so I began to really, over the next year or so, seek and really began to see who I was. But it was from a different perspective and a different view, because I now felt led and guided into who and what I was supposed to be doing. Now I say all of that, and I bring this back because this is not about me. This is about you. And whatever you're running from, you got to stop running. You got to stop running. The time to stop is now. There's so many great things waiting for you. There's a whole new life waiting for you. There's whole new opportunities, whole new people, new discoveries, new ambitions, new everything. But you got to stop running. You have to finally face it face to face. And does that mean it's not going to be hard? No. It's probably going to be hard. If you've been running that long, I'm sure it's going to be hard. But sometimes we have to do the hard things. And this is one of those things. And so I'm coming to you. This is my first message. This is my very first message. And I'm coming to you saying, if you've been running, if you're tired, if you're confused, if you just don't know, the time is now. And I also want to let you know that there is someone here that understands exactly what you're going through, and that's actually ready to walk with you through everything. So, my message to you is, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to help transform the way you think. And until next time, I want you to question everything and fear nothing. And if you are ready to go deeper and hear more word, hear more challenges, go deeper into deconstructing or going into what you're feeling, please go to my website. It's shawamara.com. I promise you, there's going to be a lot there for you. And have a good night.